that to me, there's an issue there. Because that means that some people can control the narrative or the understanding that the masses run with. That's why I say they're gatekeepers. And you need to be careful of that because their intention you don't know because they're men. All I'm trying to say to you is this, yeah? If people can make mistakes,
yeah, we agree with you.
Yeah? If people can make mistakes and they're fallible, why are we standing on the understanding of these so-called scholars if they're only just human beings?
No.
And all scholars do is verify themselves. That's very similar to the police and the IPCC, yeah? Where they investigate themselves. Because most of the people on the IPCC are actually ex-police officers. Yeah, so they're just investigating themselves. Now, do we take an inquiry? For instance, if this young man, something happens to him, and it's at the hands of the police, and then the IPC they come and investigate it, and then they say this is what happened, it was lawful. Do we then say yes? All right, they've investigated it, it was lawful? No, we don't, because we believe there could be some bias there, and there could also be mistakes there.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the scholars, this is all I'm trying to say. If you're telling me that you're not allowed to answer me based off your own opinion, but the scholars have got a better opinion, and it's based on not you, but it's based on the same text that you all can read, that to me there's an issue there. Because that means that some people can control the narrative or the understanding that the masses run with. That's why I say they're gatekeepers. And you need to be careful of that because their intention you don't know because they're men.
Yeah, definitely.
They can be controlled.
That's why in hadith, there's many hadiths are fabrication. Because of what you are saying.
Many hadiths are fabrications.
Why you are saying?
Yeah. Especially if
because what you are saying.
They can be politically charged.
Especially if they're trying to propagate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
What we are trying to say, in scholarship in Islam, we have a tradition where you can back your saying to go back to the Prophet. That's why they identify if hadith is correct or weak.
How do you do that? How is that done?
By example, if you teach me something.
Let me say something.
If you teach me, if you teach me something,
I just heard music.
Example.
Sorry. Some of us don't listen to music over here. That's a bit
Why
rude.
there's music playing over there?
You are not hearing
Yeah,
it.
but please,
You are not
man.
hearing it.
That's like coming eating bacon sandwich in front of the brothers, brother. Come on, man. I'm chatting with some Muslims. You're going to play music behind them. That's fuckery.
For example,
That's fuckery, bro.
if you tell me,
You might as well pull out a bottle of alcohol and some bacon, bro.
Nah,
Do you know what I mean? That's rude. It's rude, though,
Nah,
isn't
he
it?
don't believe this around.
Who don't?
Man, obviously everyone's where a show is, but there's music playing. They're all here.
I can't hear music.
There was
So
music playing
you
an hour
lot
ago.
just be nice,
An hour
innit?
ago, there was music playing.
Alright, cool. Sorry, my brother.
in Islam, by the way, when a scholar misguides you, you have nothing wrong in that. Do you understand? Because if someone is
No
misguiding,
responsibility.
The person who got misguided.
yeah,
It's on the
example.
scholars.
But Prophet Muhammad.
I'm talking about Islam. I'm talking about tradition of
Prophet
Islam.
Muhammad said,
because
be
scholarship-
wary of misguided scholars, yeah?
Yes, be careful.
So therefore,
be careful.
Therefore,
You
what are your
understand
tools? What are your
Be careful. Be careful. Example. There's you can open the Quran today, you see things, you read things, and then you can listen to an Imam tells you example about jihad. This is a well-known subject. Do you understand?
does the Quran tell you that you for instance, you're reading a paragraph. I think I asked this before, yeah? You're reading a paragraph in the Quran, you get to a point, and it's like, rah, what does that mean? Is there like a symbol or asterisk or a small font that says, please refer to scholars?
No.
Okay, so then who is decided now?
Okay,
Bruv, listen, who decided now? Because you lot's religion is all on the thing of where your belief in the book is separated from the belief in the huh?
From Prophet's time till now,
Wait,
Pass it on.
we have-
Yeah, but it's not in the book. And there's nowhere in the book telling you, listen to scholars.
This changes.
Brother, listen,
No,
listen.
it is
Brother,
in the book.
listen.
It's in the book.
Sorry, what's it
It's
say?
in the book. There's a verse telling you about following the people of knowledge. You understand?
He's talking
Listen.
about someone changed the interpretation, but I understand what you're saying there.
Is there's something
No,
in the Quran that
as-
says,
as
against
time-
scholars?
as-
Is there something in the Quran?
there's no-
There is nothing in
there's-
this life.
Brothers.
the time of the
Can we get a unilateral answer, yeah? I've heard your answer. Can I get from other brothers, because there's more people here?
That's what triggers a unilateral answer. You're not going to get it.
I don't want one answer. I want all your answers. I want to gauge,
Basically-
is there somewhere in the Quran that says, follow the scholars?
But the scholars became a necessity through people manipulating
That's
and
an
taking
adaptation
advantage.
to the book. That's
Taking
that's an
advantage.
innovation. That is not the original.
No,
Does
but
it in the
if
Quran
people
say...
come and they're preaching the
Brother,
Quran and give the wrong interpretation.
Sorry, my brother, go on. Go on,
It's
family.
all right, brother.
Don't worry,
If
it's
people
all right.
come and they took, like you said, a verse and they manipulate it and gave out the wrong interpretation, it was natural that it occurred that other men of knowledge came and said, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. But if that didn't happen, then everyone could take every verse and say, go and kill any disbeliever and all of this, and it'll be manipulated. It's natural that in
You have a
any
gatekeeper that
subject.
tells you the context, the paradigm to read this text through. You have gatekeepers. You call them scholars.
With the Arabic language, yeah.
You call them
With the
scholars.
Arabic language, yeah.
They're gatekeepers that say, this is the way to interpret the book.
No, but they put the work and they put the effort and they studied the
I
book.
told him
We
that.
didn't do that,
It doesn't
so we
make-
don't
it doesn't
deserve
make them
to
right.
say
It
we
don't make
fully
them right.
understand.
It don't make them
I'm not
right.
saying- I'm not
That's
saying
not a
they're fully
divine-
right.
That's not a divine thing.
No, I'm not saying they're fully
Okay,
right.
that's
I'm
not
just
from
saying
God.
I have to
they're in a better
Why-
position.
man?
I'm
why is
not
the
saying they're
best-
fully
why is the
right.
best way?
You know what it's like? You know what it's
humans
like?
like us,
Where are
not
you
the
from?
scholars.
Where are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
Iran.
Iran. You live in Iran, yeah?
No,
you
I was born here, I was
okay.
born here still.
Was you born? Hopefully, you was born in your.
I was
place
born
of-
in London, but I'm mixed origin.
Who was born? Who was born in their place of origin? Anybody? You're all born in England.
Me, example. Africa.
You're born in Africa, yeah? What part of Africa, my brother?
West Africa.
West Africa. So you know a lot about where you're from.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where you're from, please?
Africa.
Ivory Coast. If I studied the Ivory Coast in Cambridge University, but I've never travelled there, who knows more about Cambridge University? Who knows more about Ivory Coast?
If you study,
If I studied it in Oxford University,
Yeah,
but I have never been there, and you've lived there your life, who knows more about it?
you can know more than me, even
Maybe
though
that
I'm
person
from
didn't
there,
leave their house
because
much.
you can study what is happening there. While I'm there, I might not know everything.
Who has knowledge of the land?
That's what I'm telling you.
Who has knowledge of the land?
That
more
you
than
should-
another.
You've
you
read,
should know.
you've read,
Yeah,
you've read,
Yeah. You can know
but
exactly.
you know what to have knowledge of is, isn't it?
You don't-
So there's a difference between what you've read and experiencing something.
Example.
Do you agree
example,
with that?
I can be born in a village or a city.
Yeah, yeah.
I live there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never move.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know the whole country.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't know
So
all the roads,
you
you know what I mean?
you study about the whole history about the country.
So you come to me.
You
So
understand
you
that?
come to me.
You can know more things about my
you
country.
who live there, born and raised, yeah, in your community, in your area. You come to me for information about your road and your community in your area, your back garden,
It could happen.
your house, your front room.
No, you are talking about country now.
It's personal.
Country is not
It's-
small. You are talking
It's-
about.
no,
Be honest now.
but this is the point,
You're
though,
talking
yeah.
about
This is
country
the point,
goals.
yeah. You're talking about a book that deals with your own personal shit. He's talking to you directly, right? Yeah. So you're dealing with your soul, yeah, and your identity in your time. Yeah. You agree with me? So
Talking
therefore,
about you.
somebody that studied it doesn't necessarily make them better, or more knowledgeable, or more correct, because they may know the area, but they may not know what your bedroom looks
You
like.
see,
And your bedroom is what actually
No,
really
no.
matters to you, as in where you live
You see, in Islam,
that country.
in Islam,
Maybe.
you
Does that make
understand
sense?
that. You
You're saying
understand
maybe they might know and they might not know.
But it's the thing.
But
But
you're
when
saying
a man
there's a
comes
possibility.
over and says,
You see, you don't
when,
understand.
I don't understand, but I'm saying, when a man comes over and says, but you lot cannot speak about this subject because you're not scholars, and then you turn around and say, well, they deserve to be listened to because they studied.
do you know-
I'm saying for the art of studying does not mean that you're necessarily going to study correctly or you're necessarily going to be on
Is it
point.
not- is it
If
not-
everybody is studying from one school of thought
I-
or using the
can-
same, everyone using the same traditions as you lot said, the traditions could be incorrect.
Okay.
Based in mind that it does not say in the Quran that. Let me
Okay.
get one of them, brother.
Can I say something?
No, then we'll base it on a lot of maybes.
I want
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
listen.
We don't
this.
want to base our life on maybes.
I want
you
We
to
wanna have
listen.
something.
Yeah,
solid.
but if you go in the words of a scholar, then it's a maybe.
Listen, Judge.
No,
It's
no.
a maybe.
I want you to
Some-
say.
some-
I want to,
some
brother.
So you
topics-
like other people's maybes and not your own.
No,
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 I
no.
want
Some
to-
things
I
are
want to
great
tell you
areas in
something.
life,
I want
and
to
some
tell
things
you
are great areas, but some things are not great areas for us.
Okay.
Like there being a creator, that him deserving
Islam-
worship, how we approach that worship. What's the best way to worship Him?
It doesn't.
For us, it's not a grey area.
But what I'm
What
trying to
He
say-
looks
what
like
I'm
and
trying to
stuff
say,
like that,
when
for
you
us,
get
it's
to-
irrelevant.
when you
It
get-
doesn't matter to us. It won't better us.
When you get to a chapter in your book,
I tell you.
you can't tell me that I've not said it yet.
Because
even though I've not said it,
you
I'm
have
not-
repeated
I'm
that
repeating to
long
what you
time.
said. I'm just responding to what you just said, bro. Yeah? When you get to a passage in your book, can I get one, please? When I get to a passage in a book and I don't understand it, and I think it's a grey area, it itself does not denote itself as a grey area. It doesn't say the passage you are now reading is a grey area.
Maybe because of lack of, let's say,
Does it say
let's
that?
just say I'm reading
Just
this
go,
now.
yes or no, bro?
It
doesn't say
All right,
it's a
cool.
grey
So therefore,
let me tell you, let me finish.
therefore, it's not part and parcel of reading this book that you need to go to a scholar.
No, but what
That's
I'm
you
saying,
not.
I'm just saying, if you have background, I understand what you're saying. There's no specific to say, oh, it's a grey area.
Yeah.
But you're saying there's grey areas and black areas.
I'm saying
but that's subjective.
What we
then.
find out as
That's
we go.
subjective.
Brothers,
Okay,
you know
you
what?
can say
right or wrong.
Respectfully, I've been listening to you lot for long, yeah, and none of you lot have brought up what Allah said and His Messenger said, yeah. There's a
Just
lot
let
of
scholar
opinions.
talk.
There's a lot of opinions coming.
Scholar
So
talk.
what the
This
brothers
one,
need
no,
to
no,
do,
wait.
yeah,
I'm
is
asking you
put
about
through-
Quran,
look,
right?
this is-
I'm asking you, yes, you understand?
I'll give you an example.
Scholar,
When the
I'm
prophet,
not.
when the prophet,
very good point.
when the prophet lived, when the prophet lived, the
I
first
just
scholar
tried
in
to address
Islam
one
is the
thing he was
prophet.
talking about. Was
So
about the
the
scholars.
first scholar is the prophet. So everything has.
You cannot call the prophet a scholar.
Are you sure?
No, what I'm
Because
saying.
you can't call the prophet a scholar. You
If
cannot.
don't-
Hold on, brother.
If you lived in the time, if you lived
Hold
in
on,
the
hold
time
on,
of
hold
the
on, hold on.
prophet,
No, no,
you
no,
didn't
no.
understand.
Bro,
You
he's
have
calling
to
the
go
prophet
to-
a scholar.
Yeah.
Obviously, the prophet would be the most knowledgeable
Yeah,
scholar about
exactly.
Islam.
How would the prophet be a scholar? A prophet that's not even read the books.
He read the
He
book.
never read the
He
Torah.
taught it.
What do you mean?
He can't read or write. He never read the books that came before
It
him.
was, we were
Yeah?
discussing
No,
scholar in
you
another
can't-
We are
text.
not talking about the books.
And plus, another thing is this. Another thing is
Don't
this, yeah?
understand
Wait,
Islam.
wait, wait.
Brother.
Wait. First of all, to be a scholar, you have to study. Yeah? You lot already said that.
You said earlier. You said earlier.
Secondly,
that
listen.
his teacher is
Listen,
God.
listen,
Who is his
listen,
teacher?
listen. Secondly,
Who is
all the
teacher?
knowledge,
You said it's God. You
all the
said that
knowledge
earlier.
that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is given to him from Gabriel.
Right.
Yeah.
So who's a better teacher
So
than
listen,
Gabriel?
exactly.
Who's a
listen
better teacher than Gabriel?
Listen to what I'm saying.
You're saying
fam.
taught and studied. So he taught.
Fam,
So right.
fam,
No,
listen,
no.
listen,
Addressing the
listen.
point.
I'm addressing it. Let me finish the fucking point then, bro.
God.
Yeah? The point I'm trying to say to you, fam, yeah? If Prophet Muhammad has not learned and studied...
But he has,
Oh,
though.
bruv, shush. Listen, just let me finish. Wait, man.
Brother,
You lot
you
annoying
don't need to sit.
You're not annoying me.
Before Quran.
He understands it the
Like,
same
okay,
way. Let him finish.
let me...
He was unlearned.
Listen.
He understands.
Ooh. Was that Callum? Was that Callum's camera?
You see,
Was that a content camera? Oh. Oh my God. No talk with the Titans tonight. No talk with the
I'm
Titans.
saying, and let
All right, let me know.
Before Quran came to him. Before Quran
There was no...
Contents coming out from you.
Bruv, listen how you lot are contradicting yourself. I asked what a scholar was. A scholar is somebody that has read and researched and studied the Quran and its sources.
I didn't define it
Yeah.
myself.
This is what Brother Muhammad has said. This is a scholar, a learned person of such nature. Muhammad hasn't written. He doesn't write, he doesn't read, he doesn't write. Yeah? He didn't study the Quran because the Quran wasn't in existence. Because
He did study the Quran.
Alright, there's no way that Prophet
He
Muhammad could
was
have studied the
taught by
Quran.
Jibril. According
Brother,
to you,
listen.
what you said.
Brother.
Who taught him?
Oh man, bruv, you know what? This point that I'm trying to make is so quick. Once I make it, I'm leaving. Listen, once I make it, I'm leaving.
Now you have to make it and then
Alright,
find a rebuttal.
once I make this point, I'm leaving, yeah? He didn't read the Quran. You can't tell me Muhammad read the Quran.
He did. He did.
Was he illiterate? Was he illiterate?
Before the
Was he
Quran,
illiterate?
before the Quran, he was.
Was he illiterate?
Before the Quran, he was.
reciting it.
Okay,
He was illiterate before the Quran.
Prophet Muhammad read the Quran, but everyone else recited it. Yeah? Everyone else recited it. Prophet Muhammad read the Quran. This is what the brother said. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move
Bro,
on.
establish a point before you move on to the next one. Bro,
You don't even let me get to the point. He keeps interjecting.
I'm just
fam.
saying,
And you're on the
finish.
sidelines now.
Then you can
Give
go.
man some
I'm
space.
done.
When he finishes
I'm
the
done.
whole thing, when he finishes the whole
Brother,
thing,
you know,
then
look
Look
at
at
him,
him.
man.
You do the
There's
same.
a point I'm trying to make, man.
Been
You
here
know,
about
make the
3
point,
hours.
make the point,
But let
make the
him
point,
finish
make
the
the
whole
point.
let's all take a breather. Especially me.
Okay,
But
you
you
have
start to
your
trigger
time.
me a little bit. I need to compose myself
finish the
so
whole
that we can
paragraph.
all discuss properly. It's not me shouting over you. I apologize for my mannerisms and whatnot. Yeah.
Time by
Sometimes
time.
I get a bit. So all I was trying to say is, if Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has not read and did not read and did not write, could not have studied the Quran in a textual context, I don't see how he could have been a scholar. Secondly, he was imparted information, yeah? Now, being imparted information from somebody does not make you a scholar. You are able to recite, to regurgitate, to recall what you were told. That is different from studying and learning and searching for the information that which makes you a scholar.
100%.
Yeah? If I tell you a story, you are not a scholar of that fucking story.
I know, but
you can just recite what I told you.
with the
So
Muslims,
there's a
they-
difference. Don't call. I asked already from before you came whether there's a difference as in scholar in a dictionary or Islamic scholars. Is there a difference?
That's
told
something
you
I
it's
need to
different.
research myself.
I told
Go
you
on.
there's
That's
a
something I
difference.
need to
Go on,
research
you lot can
myself.
go for it now, bro. What was it, Issa, that I didn't?
No, I'm done.
This is what I'm trying to say to man, yeah?
I told you
Like,
what
so
I'm saying,
there's no
look,
argument there, is there?
That's
I'm
why
not
I asked you
discussing
earlier.
Muhammad,
Do you
Prophet
know-
Muhammad could not have been a scholar. Don't
I'm
say
not
that.
discussing
was the
scholar, but I'm
scholar
discussing
of
that
the
he was
Islam.
qualified to give us.
He wasn't a
was
scholar, though, was he?
He
I'm
was.
not going to call him a
He
scholar because
was.
I don't know the
He
exact
was.
definition of
He
scholar.
was.
He's a prophet.
If you had a question,
A
you
preacher.
would have
But
gone
he's
to
still
him. He
qualified
tell you.
to teach us the
A
Quran. That's all I'm
teacher.
saying.
A teacher. He
He's
could
still
be.
qualified to teach us
He
the
could be a
Quran, but we
teacher.
can say he's the best of teachers.
He could be a
The
teacher.
scholars are teachers.
Understand?
The best
The
of
scholars
teachers.
are
But we
teachers.
say
Who do the
he's
scholars
the best
learn
of
from?
Scholars
teachers.
are teachers.
Where did the hadith come
Definitely.
from? Where does the Quran come from?
Prophet
He's the
Muhammad
origin of
could
it.
be a teacher, but he can't be a
That's when
scholar.
you're saying that he
What's the
didn't
difference?
read it.
Scholar is educated
I
so
believe that he got it
There's a
revealed to
definition
him.
for
Yeah,
scholar.
yeah, revealed.
That
Revelation
for us,
does not make you a
revelation-
scholar.
I know, but it makes us.
Teachers.
It makes,
No.
for
Makes
us,
you
it makes us the
divine,
best
makes you
teacher.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, makes you
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
but it
Abraham
does not
was
make you a
a
I'm
scholar.
scholar.
saying it makes him best
Islamic
qualified
scholar.
to teach us.
Abraham
And
wasn't
the
a
scholars
scholar.
were
David
in a
wasn't a
line coming
scholar.
down
Yahshua wasn't a
from
scholar.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu
They
alaihi
were
wasallam.
righteous men, but they weren't
What's the
scholars.
scholars in the
They had
Bible?
revelation.
See, I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't make
Because
them
to me,
scholars.
I know he said
What about the
messenger.
They
revelation?
are
He's
more
a
than
messenger.
they are more than
And
scholars.
To me,
Not
They're more
prophets
than
or
the
to me,
messengers.
no disrespect.
Yeah, all
From what you're
messengers are
saying,
They are more
from
than
what you're,
scholars.
from what
Yeah.
you, listen, no disrespect.
He's a prophet.
Listen,
Muhammad was a
no
prophet.
disrespect,
He's a
brother,
He's a
brother.
teacher.
Yeah, but he's not a scholar.
This you got 5 conversations
He's
going
more
on.
than a scholar.
Listen,
Because he's got
brother.
revelation from God.
you're just chatting.
Go on.
Give him a chance.
Listen what I'm saying to you, brother. Yeah? From what you've shown me, yeah, it seems like Prophet Muhammad sounds more like an apostle to Gabriel, yeah, an apostle to Gabriel than an actual rascal messenger himself. This way, from what you're telling me, he has been given the information by a being, a conscious, intelligent being.
Through a
Yes.
being. We believe through what?
Through. What do you mean through a being?
Through Gabriel, but the
Gabriel
message,
gave nothing.
but the message was from Allah.
Yeah, through Gabriel. Yeah, but
Semantics.
No, because we believe
yeah,
that
but
Allah
hold
is
on.
too
But
great.
Gabriel passed on the message.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So you got it from Gabriel.
Yeah.
How is that not
No, but he
semantics?
didn't
Bro,
spread.
it's-
He's
no,
not.
it's
word
but
games,
listen,
man.
listen, we
Gabriel's
don't
a-
believe he's
Gabriel
the messenger
gave them-
because he didn't come on earth and spread the message. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was physically there on earth
He
spreading the
did-
message
he
day
did-
after day, years after years.
Did
So that's
Gabriel
why
give
we
the
say
message?
he's a
Did
messenger.
Gabriel give the
He
message?
gave him the
Brother,
Quran.
Yes.
He
Once.
gave him the
brother,
Quran.
brother.
Once he passed
All
on.
I said was Gabriel. Did Gabriel bring it? And you're answering.
He's
Yeah, I
not the
said he gave
messenger
him the
for
Quran.
all
What's
the
the end of the question I was asking?
You are saying
Relax a little bit,
But he's
brother.
not,
Come on.
he's not the message. But he gave him the message from Allah. But he's
So,
not the messenger.
so wait.
for all the people.
Wait. If I give Raven, if I give you a message, what am I?
But you know, the,
Wait,
but,
wait,
but
wait,
listen,
wait.
you're the messenger for
Uncle,
him.
uncle.
You're messenger for him,
uncle.
not the whole people.
Uncle, if I give you a message, if I deliver a message to you, who am I?
But then if we put,
So
no,
then,
brother,
who delivered?
But he
pass
didn't
it on
just
now
give
to
the
100
message.
people,
He
brother.
taught the message. He taught the message. He didn't just give the message. He taught it. He
Even better. So that he's not just the
made
messenger.
people follow it.
Gabriel is not only the messenger, he's the teacher of Islam.
Gabriel was an angel.
Yeah, and?
I said the prophet is not even, he just a messenger. He taught Islam. He taught the Quran to the people.
Cool. I agree that he taught it.
Yeah.
I agree that he taught it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I'm not denying he was a
So
teacher.
he have a,
I'm not denying he was a teacher.
why you
I'm not
denying
denying any of that. What I'm saying is, if someone gave him the message, then surely Gabriel is the messenger. Yeah? But
Okay,
there was some kind of fight when I said it. There was a fight. There was.
maybe we didn't. Maybe
It's a messenger.
No.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
people didn't understand.
I'm sorry, brother.
Maybe people didn't understand what you were saying. They don't have
You get in
problem
this
with that.
conversation, yeah?
What we're trying to say is just because Gabriel is a messenger,
Yeah.
that doesn't negate that Muhammad messenger.
No, it's true because as he passes on the message, he then becomes a messenger himself. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that.
What we are saying, He's not even, he taught the Quran. In the time of the Prophet, if you didn't understand something, you would have gone to him. He will explain that to you. There's many in tradition where people try to fight between the verse, they don't understand the meaning.
That doesn't make him a scholar though.
What?
That don't make him a
So
scholar.
that's why I asked you earlier, what do you know about scholars?
Yeah.
I asked you earlier.
Oh, wait. His messenger, wait, there's two conversations and I'm careful.
I asked you earlier, what do you know about scholarship in
Let
Islam?
these look chat because of the microphone. Sorry, come on a minute.
If different people come up, all these people memorize it. If they come up with conflicts within their what they remember, who decides which is the correct
There's no
one?
conflict.
The
There's
scholars
no
do.
conflict in the
The
text.
scholars do.
There's some
But the scholars
conflict
say, no,
in
this is not right.
interpretation, but in the Arabic text, if you burn all the Qurans and we'll be able to produce them
to
again by
understand
memorization.
But the Quran does
by
not tell you
translation.
to follow the scholars.
Those scholars, they learn
The
from the
Quran tells you to be wary
the promises.
of misguided scholars.
You know what?
But then it doesn't give you a way to differentiate.
Brother, it's not fair to say. It's not fair to say don't do something. It's not fair to say don't do something because it's not specifically say not to do it.
All right,
Because
brother.
it might say,
Brother.
it might say to him,
That
don't
was the
push
hadith
my right
why
shoulder.
Muhammad said.
Now, if he
That's
pushes
not-
my
it's
right
not
shoulder,
Quran.
it's
It's a
okay
hadith.
because it didn't say in the Quran.
So in the
specifically, don't push my
Quran,
right
so in the
shoulder.
Quran, does it say?
need to stick
Listen,
with what's
listen.
in the Quran.
In the Quran,
it
does it
says
say
that-
to you?
it says-
Does
But
it say
doesn't
to
mean
you?
that
Follow the scholars.
No,
everything
it
you do
said
is
follow
wrong.
Allah.
Wait, bruv.
Unless it's a
You-
religious
how
practice.
can we have 5 man chatting through the whole Rascal
I'm
video?
answering your question.
Turner. Yes, but he's chatting as well.
Okay.
Quran doesn't say follow scholars.
He doesn't say follow
It says
scholars.
follow the Prophet and follow
I'm not
Allah,
gonna
follow the
go-
Prophet.
I'm not memorizing.
That's
Okay,
why
I'm not gonna
repeated
just quote
verses in the
from-
Quran.
Therefore, if it says follow the Prophet and the scholars are not the Prophet,
Now you are coming
then
back
why?
to me.
Scholars
Now
are
you are
not
coming back
prophets.
to me.
Exactly. Scholars are not
Don't
the
quote
Prophet.
that
Then
says
why
follow
are
the
we
scholars.
standing on the understanding of scholars? If it not, where are you getting this from?
Listen.
The scholars have put themselves in a position where they can be the gatekeepers of understanding of the text that your own eyes can perceive. They are gatekeepers of your reality.
when it comes
Do
to
you
the
understand what I'm
basic-
saying to you?
listen, brother, when
Because
it
you
comes-
can read. Wait 1 second, I'm done. You can read something in one way, yeah, and then your brother tells you, no, that ain't right. According to scholar Abdul blah blah blah, this is incorrect, and then you will change your perception of what you've read from your own eyes.
I understand your
But
point.
the Quran does not tell you
No,
to do
the
that.
Quran
tells you to
repeatedly.
You're putting man up on the same level
Maybe-
as a perfect
Brother.
man and your prophet Muhammad.
Maybe sometimes.
By listening to scholars,
Maybe
it's the same.
No,
I'm
maybe
saying is
sometimes
that some
Muslims
fund-
can do that. Put someone higher.
He's not saying
You understand?
don't take what they're saying
But-
into consideration.
but-
He's saying if you're saying that you need them to actually, like someone said that you need a
Oh,
scholar
yeah.
to
No,
actually
we don't-
take over.
There's-
from public
there's-
speaking.
there's-
That's a big
there's-
issue.
there's-
And no,
there's-
Jedi, please,
there's grey
Jedi.
areas.
Jedi, please.
I'm telling you there's grey
I know,
areas in the
I know.
book.
Let me try to articulate.
But there's no way in the book
Let me
that
try
says this is a grey
Let me
area.
try
When it comes to
articulate.
fundamentals,
Let me try
brother,
So that's
No,
not
let me-
subjective.
when it
No,
comes
let
to
me
the
try
basics
articulate,
and
bro. Let me try to
fundamentals, there's
articulate
no
this,
grey
yeah?
area.
Basically,
So, brother,
this
brother,
is why- no,
grey areas in the book.
You
need a manual, to decode the manual, and then you need an expert to decode the manual.
Certain parts. What I'm saying to
follow.
you,
No, no.
see the
Don't
basics
follow the
and the
scholars. Follow
fundamentals
the book
and the
I
and
agree
the
with you.
Prophet
I agree with you.
Muhammad.
All right.
You don't need it.
I like this brother, you
Come
know.
on, brother.
And you know the wickedest thing? If man try to discount
Will
you,
you follow this?
man try to
Yeah,
discount
I'm
you
real.
as not being,
I'm
and he's
good, I'm
more
good.
logically. I knew it. This is why I will chat to you, you know, because I knew it, you know.
Listen, brother, all I'm trying to say when it comes to like fundamentals and
Mama's rule, you know.
prayer.
Anyway, you won't follow the
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
There's no grey
Just
areas.
nonsense.
But then there's certain topics like maybe what nullifies your
Yeah, but who said he not
or do for prayer.
Yeah.
For if a woman's on period, like how
I'm
to
saying.
calculate
So that's subjective
the
as well.
measurement for Ramadan. Yeah, there's some stuff where there's differences in opinion, but when it comes to fundamentals, which we need to practice Islam every day, like praying, our relationship.
But you know the thing with
there's no difference
the difference in opinion, the fact that you have a certain body of people that get to govern and dictate what they do, they respect. No. They govern and dictate how you perceive that grey area, and that is power. For me to tell you to clarify what you are reading with your own eyes and your own brain, for me to override your own understanding, that gives me power intellectually over you.
Just one thing for his point. It shouldn't be power, it should be leadership. But it's certain to power. But really, it
Your
should be
leadership should come from Allah
You know,
only.
about even on a football team, we've got a captain, brother.
Yeah, but
when
that's
it
a
comes,
sport.
brother, when it comes
That's
to
a
our
football?
Our life is, for me,
Who runs the team?
I know,
Who
brother.
runs this team?
Manager.
The captain or the manager
No,
or the
brother.
or the chairman?
What I'm trying to say, for some
Or the chairman?
certain aspects are run by certain people.
or the company whose
Okay,
logo,
listen,
or
football
the
is not-
company whose logo.
Okay, football is
It's
not
a
a good
great
example.
example.
Okay,
No, it is a great example because it's a
No, no, it's
religion.
not a good example.
It is.
I know it's a
Football is
religion for people.
Football is a great
But let me
example,
say one
fam.
thing, brother. All I'm
The
trying to
people
say-
in the fans in the stadium, they love it. That's the
Okay, but what I'm
Muslims.
trying to say,
You don't love it,
when
and you
you're
lot are
saying
good
about
people.
grey areas-
You want to see. You know what I mean? You're here for football.
When you're saying to the
But
scholars,
then
we can't just
the
dismantle
people.
them all together. We need
Man's
somebody
not
to
even
shift
hear me,
it.
bro. It's cool.
I was listening to you.
You know what I realized, yeah? What I
Be
realized is
honest, be honest.
Some-
Islam, you know a lot about Islam.
I don't.
You
I don't.
So,
I don't.
So listen,
He's got
I will
Muslim
tell you,
friends, probably,
Islam is not like football.
I
Football is
know
not
my
like this.
analogy.
All I'm trying to say, brother,
No,
is that we
even the
need
analogy
leadership.
cannot match.
And
It's
some of the
inspiring.
scholars are
You know,
leaders.
that's in your. That's because the way you see things, nothing can compare to your belief system.
That's like saying
yeah?
mum and prophet.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's like saying
The way you
comparing
see,
mum and
brother,
prophet like some
the way you
brothers do.
see things.
Why,
The way
why
you-
do you think it's same?
Your conversation style is more awkward than mine,
I'm
so I
asking
respect
you now. You-
But the minute
you elaborate.
I've been trying to chat to you, you look away, yeah, and then
No,
you turn
it was-
around,
no,
you
it
turn
was
around,
just-
look at me, and start talking.
We were
It's
just
like
friends.
fucking hell, bro.
No, no, no.
Like, give me. How are we gonna have a conversation like that?
You shake my hand. I said follow
I
the
start
Prophet
chatting
and
to
the
you.
Quran.
I start-
Now I'm becoming your enemy.
No, you're not
No,
my enemy.
never gonna be the enemy.
I start chatting to you.
Never.
You look at the
Never
next
will
one.
be the enemy.
Bro, none of
Never
this-
say that. Don't say
This is
that.
a waste.
Uncle.
Don't waste
Okay,
your
say that,
content.
bro.
All I'm trying to say is that
Elaborate.
I agree, we shouldn't blindly be following this
Yeah,
hierarchy.
man, you're
of
good, man.
basketball.
It's
The mic's there, you know, so they can hear you. Don't
We
whisper.
shouldn't blindly be
Wherever you say, I have to look at your eyes.
But we need some
In
leadership.
Africa,
Test it, test it.
in
We need some
Africa,
leadership.
if you are
And
talking
for
to
me,
a
a
woman,
scholar
you
and
have
imam
fixed
is
her
a
like this.
leader,
You
like
probably want
a
her.
shepherd
You
to
understand?
help me with my practice of religion.
Why do you need leadership? You got a book given to you from the
know
creator,
what-
and you
I-
still
I
need
got-
a human being.
No, but like I said,
You got
some
the
people are more-
listen. The
Some people are
creator,
more
listen,
experienced in
the
practicing that book
creator
than me.
of everything, yeah, everything, yeah, designed a message for all of mankind, and he went out of his way to give it to an angel, who then gave it to a perfect man, the final prophet for all of mankind. And in 2017, that is not enough. We need scholars and imams.
Okay, you don't follow any school.
What are you chatting about, bro?
Let me
That
tell
made
you.
no sense.
All
Follow
I'm
the
saying to you
prophet.
is that.
It's
No,
not
but
nonsense.
listen. All I'm
Follow
saying
the
is that
Quran,
these
follow
guys
the prophet.
have got more. The Quran is just a living. It's just a brilliant. These guys have got more experience in doing so. So it's like someone who's more experienced in something. If you tag along with them and you follow some of their examples, they got more experience.
But you know what? They can also
You
they can also give you.
blindly
They
follow.
can also give you bad habits.
Yeah, but
You know
that's
what
why
they say? You know what they
Okay, we
say?
gotta wrap
You know
up.
when
So-
you know when it comes to driving, yeah? You know what they say? Yeah? Those people that already knew how to drive are most likely to fail their test because they
bad
pick up
habits. You got to
bad
take them
habits.
out.
You
A blank
understand?
piece of
So-
paper is better to teach.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, if you are the blank piece of paper, why is your understanding and your brain
I'm
and
not a
your
blank piece of paper because I got all these other influence from my
so
life,
is the scholars
my
are the
culture.
scholars blank piece of paper?
But somebody's
Are the scholars?
not necessarily.
No,
but
they're
some-
not. No,
listen, some of them are less.
Don't say not necessarily.
two seconds.
If you're not a blank,
Some
Give me
people
two
have
seconds,
been
Jedi.
in
if you are
Time,
not,
time.
if you're
One
not a
minute,
blank,
Jedi, 1 minute,
wait,
1
I'm
minute.
just disappointed, bro. If you're not a blank piece of paper, why can you not say a scholar is
I hear
not?
you, Jedi.
Because
but
some of
I'm
these
trying
scholars,
to-
they've
I'm
been
just
in the
trying to-
surrounding where they've been educating
Go on,
themselves
go
for
on,
the
go
whole
on,
time.
go on, go on, go on, go on.
They've been educating
Yeah.
themselves. They've been some
So
of
what
these
I'm saying
scholars.
is, Kazi, no. What we want is conclusions. Can we just conclude?
The conclusion is
I'm not
follow
worried
the
about
prophet,
conclusion, but
follow
what
the
I'm saying
Quran.
is.
No, because we need to
For
end the
me
video. We don't want it
personally,
to end
I was
like
just
you know what I'm
thinking,
saying.
All right,
for me
go on,
personally,
go on, go on.
You know
for
what
me
I'm saying?
personally, the scholar is not some blind person I follow who just goes like this,
Yeah.
and I go, yeah, Allahu Akbar, and
Yeah,
just run
yeah.
into something.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know any
There's more-
scholars?
Just in Egypt, not here personally. in this
You know
country.
scholars in Egypt,
Not
and
here
they-
personally.
and those
this
scholars
country.
in
But I'm
Egypt.
not
are-
worried- I don't want to talk about it because I'm
Let's
not.
run.
I'm trying to just dig deeper because you just made a statement about scholars, yeah. So do you know scholars personally?
Personally, but I wasn't one of their regular students of knowledge. So for me to start defending them and
Bruv,
say
then how can you stand on? You can't stand on the basis of
No, but
any
listen,
scholars.
listen.
You don't even know them just because they got
But
the
that
title.
means I can't stand on any.
You
human
can't.
being.
Yes, you can't.
you can't.
Yes,
So who's
exactly.
gonna help me? That's
You.
what I'm saying.
You got a whole
Okay,
book.
so how do
You
guys
got a
get
whole
help?
book from
How
the
do you
God.
guys get help?
God has given you a whole book. Where's the Quran? Where's the
No,
Quran?
listen.
Give him a
These guys
Quran
are
because he
saying,
needs
forget
help.
the Quran. Forget
He needs
everyone.
help.
No.
Give him Quran. The Quran will help
Brother,
you.
I'm
No,
trying
no.
to listen.
We're not
I
saying
got-
You're looking at people.
mums.
I gotta understand where you guys
You don't
stand.
need middlemen.
No, wait. Okay.
No, what they want.
No, but I gotta understand where you guys stand with your beliefs so I can take something from you.
All they're gonna write in the comments
okay,
is,
you say
we need scholars.
forget the-
These are
forget the
laymen.
man.
These guys
No,
cannot.
no.
It's not
We're
fair.
not saying, we're not
But you are saying forget the man. You're saying forget the
No,
man.
we're saying,
forget
we're
the
saying your
forget the
interpretation shouldn't
dogma.
be based upon them.
Okay, but
Like, for
whatever your
example,
interpretation is gonna be based on some influence.
when I was okay, let me give you a good example. I was a Christian, yeah. When I read the Bible from start to finish, I couldn't go to any pastor. I know they've done all their theological. I had to read the Bible for myself.
Okay, fine.
Get my
But
own
even yourself
interpretation.
is influenced by your parents, your
That's
culture,
alright,
the
that's
internet,
alright, 'cause
your
I'm not-
brethren.
And the scholar is not. The scholar is not. The imam is not.
They are to a certain extent, but listen, some have been enclaved, yeah, in education, studying since.
And a lot of them have got.
Bro, I'm saying some of them are.
You can't even
Some of
hear,
them are.
brother.
I'm hearing.
You cannot hear the illogical.
No, I know what you're saying.
What you say? You can't hear the illogicalness of what you're saying.
I'm
to
not
me,
blindly
yeah?
following
I
them,
know
man.
you're not. But what I'm
saying?
saying, what I'm saying to you is this, yeah. If you feel that you are contaminated, yeah, with nurture. Yeah,
With my upbringing.
with your upbringing, yeah. So you're now saying that the imams and scholars were not
I'm not
brought
saying
up.
he's free. I'm just saying he's more experienced and got a higher chance of understanding
Why?
certain aspects
Why?
of the religion.
Why?
Not how I
Because
pray.
Because of his bloodline.
All his
How
life,
I
he has
pray
been
from all the
trained.
Because of
years
his
of
bloodline.
studying. From all the
Studying
years
and
of
So
studying.
studying, that's all it
And
takes.
teaching.
That's all I'm
So
saying.
all
from
you have to do
studying.
is study.
If I
For you to free yourself,
study and practice, study and practice.
From you,
Not just studying his
from
example.
you to free yourself.
When you
from-
said, did I know them Egypt? Sorry, go on.
for you to free yourself from the need of an imam and a
I need to study
and
and
a
become a
scholar.
scholar
So
myself.
why don't you just fucking do that, bro?
You know what, brother? I'm not perfect. I didn't come
Waste
here
your
to.
time.
Yeah,
Because
but I'm not
other
wasting
men
your
are
time.
fallible.
I'm not wasting your time. I didn't come here to.
You're wasting not my time. You're wasting your time.
No,
Why
but
don't you do
I'm
that?
not perfect. I do things to waste time. I go on the internet, I watch
Bro,
videos.
to me,
I
it
chill out
sounds
with my
like you're
friends.
glorifying other men above your own station.
No,
yeah,
I'm-
and you're putting them in charge of your
No,
spiritual
I'm
journey.
glorifying-
You're
I'm
putting
not glorifying them.
other men in
I'm
charge,
respecting
brother.
them. I'm respecting them
brother.
because they put their work in.
I
and
don't
do
care.
it.
I don't care what work they put in.
No, but I'm
You
not
never saw
standing
their
there saying
work.
I did put work in.
You never
Yeah,
saw
but you
their
guys
work.
now are questioning.
You're
why I put the
assuming
work
their work
in.
is
It's
not
a question. No, but I'm not a scholar. I didn't say this.
I know that.
Listen,
We're fully follow
There's a
that.
hadith
but
that says,
listen,
look
I'm
where
not
it's
saying
far China.
why everyone's asking me why didn't I put the work in? Who's talking about the scholars?
So I'm
People
saying,
shouldn't ask me why am I not putting the work
Yeah,
in.
yeah, it's true. Because the only thing that differentiates you from a scholar is education. So why don't you do that? Because this is your soul.
I'm trying, even right now, being here.
You're comfortable. You're too comfortable following the
But you're
imam.
right. No, you're right.
And
Brother.
scholars. And this is the point I was making. As long as you stand on the, as long as you stand on.
I've heard what you said.
I'm too comfortable with my life, but not with them.
You're right in front of the camera. You're right in front. As soon as you're comfortable standing on the shoulders of scholars and imams.
no, I'm not
Brothers,
throwing all the
listen,
responsibility on them.
No, but as a whole,
Laziness in seeking
as a
knowledge.
whole,
Yeah, I
this is what we
understand.
get. We get Christians that stand on the knowledge of
we're
the
saying-
pastor and the priest and the bishop and blah
don't
blah blah.
question
Yeah?
it at all. I
And
understand what
yeah.
you're
So what I'm trying to say is,
We are
yeah,
different.
that is
We don't
not,
go
that is
that
very
much.
shaky for you to do, because you know what? It's not the imam or the scholar that's going to get you into Jahannam. Yeah, it is you. Yeah.
I appreciate
There's
it.
nowhere in your Quran that tells you to follow the beliefs of the scholars and the imams.
I appreciate
So
what you're saying, but-
therefore, that is an innovation to what the book is instructing you
Blindly
to
following
do,
is
which is to
innovation.
follow,
Blindly following.
it's an innovation to follow the scholars.
No,
But
but
if it's
listen,
not, if it's not in the Quran,
He just wants you
if
for
it's,
the
I'm going to say
have to
that.
wrap
religious
up.
practice, but like I said back to you, just one more thing. I swear. When it comes to the fundamentals of my prayer and my charity, how I deal with another human being, forgiving people, overlooking people, being a good human to society, I don't need the scholars. It's just some areas of my religion I seek guidance with them, some knowledge, some areas of the history of my religion. So you got to understand, I'm not blindly following him. If he just orders me, I'm not just going to follow him just because he was right about that topic. But I understand what you're saying. There are some
think some
lazy
people that do
people.
that?
There's some, you know, like I said, there's
No,
lazy
no,
people,
what I'm
but they're
saying-
just lazy people. They
No,
don't want to go and
I
search it.
think we've lost the essence of the main conversation. Because it wasn't even about you listening to scholars. What
I
it was
don't
about...
think, because he don't know no scholars
No,
personally.
1 minute, Jedi.
So he just gets
No,
the
no,
scholar,
1 minute.
and that's it.
What the conversation
No
was
way to
about
verify
was
your scholar.
this brother was talking
No,
to
the one
Jedi.
that easy-
This brother was talking to Jedi.
Another one said
One minute. Let's have order. No, but fam, come on.
keep doing that.
Order.
Keep doing that.
One order.
Keep doing that.
This brother This brother I was reasoning with Jedi. Yeah? This
That's what
brother.
you're doing.
Yo, you man,
How am I trying?
allow it, man. You man, allow it, please, man. You man, allow it. You man, the mic, man. The mic. Come, I'm talking, fam. So allow me just like do the same what I'm saying. No, I know, but well, I've been here, fam, for like out. You can see me. You get me?
You've been here since in the morning.
You're
supposed to get
I
rest.
want to you, like you've been eating the mic.
You've been here
But
since
anyway,
in the morning.
yeah. Are you listening? Yeah. Are you listening? What I'm saying is, he was having a debate with Jedi. This is how it started, yeah. And someone came over to him and said he needs a scholar in order to speak to Jedi about that particular topic. So this is how the debate actually started. It wasn't about taking wisdom
about
or
the
guidance.
particular topic.
He as an
talking
individual
about something
shouldn't
else.
need a scholar. There's no one here that should need a scholar to tell us.
Maybe
about
not
them.
to talk about it in general, but maybe to understand it a bit better.
Yeah, well, you could
But maybe not to talk about
Tell him
it,
that
no,
to
but
one
I don't
side.
wanna-
Tell him that to one side. Don't try and embarrass my brother when he's in front
Okay,
of the
but
camera.
that's a
and
different
come and
issue. That's
get
like
me.
human ethics. That's
Yeah,
not-
yeah. But what I'm saying is that was where the issue started.
Yeah.
though.
And
You know
then
what I'm
it
saying?
becomes a big
Yeah,
thing now.
You know what I'm saying?
All
So-
the media around here.
But when, there's a lot of scholars that have lectures that tell us don't blindly follow the scholars. Even a whole lecture based
Scholars
on
don't follow each other.
They argue, they debate.
Scholars
Yeah, they
dismiss each
debate.
other.
Even in
So what I'm
Islam.
saying is, if you know there's confusion around the scholars, and you know that your book doesn't say follow the scholars, what the fuck are you not
No,
doing?
but only in certain
What are you
topics.
doing?
In the main fundamentals,
Not
there's no
any
difference in
any
what topics.
topic.
What's your
Any
conclusion?
topics.
What's your
Listen,
conclusion?
I'm not going to go
What's
through
your
every
conclusion?
single topic because there's
What's
a
your
number.
conclusion?
But,
You can't
no,
wrap
but listen,
up.
I'll tell you the
You
ones
can't
there's
wrap
not
up.
difference in
No, the
opinion.
battery's gonna die on the
Like the
camera.
prayers,
Let's wrap up.
how much charity you give
Let's
them,
wrap it up.
the
Let's
five
wrap it up.
pillars
No,
of Islam.
wrap it
There's
up.
no difference.
Follow
in
the
it.
Wait,
Quran.
wait.
Follow the Prophet
Wait.
Muhammad.
Are the prayer
You don't need
movements?
a scholar.
Are the prayer
If you can
stances?
do that,
brother.
well done. If you can do those two, promise you will.
Are the wait?
Are you
The prayer stances? What's the name of them? Islamic names? The different positions you do when you're praying.
Right.
More sujood,
Okay.
yeah.
Are they in the Quran?
Yes, yeah, they're there. Yeah, they're there.
Some of them.
No, they're there.
Perfect
They're
position.
there.
Oh.
They're there.
Listen,
They're there.
Are
There's
they?
a chapter
I'm not
of
getting a yes or no.
prostration. Brother,
They are
there's a
packed-
chapter of prostration. They are there.
the
Yeah,
basic
all of
positions,
them
the
are-
basic.
all the
but-
Yeah,
positions.
all the positions.
All the
Allah Akbar,
positions.
like this.
He's
go
talking about
prostration.
the
They're all
angle your
there.
fingers are at and stuff like that.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying
The
the way
basic
to pray.
positions and
Yeah.
prostration. Yeah.
So, but then there's expansions in the hadiths.
It's not really.
Yeah.
Yes, there is,
They
That
are.
are- and these
they are.
expansions.
100% there is.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what?
It's not
yeah.
really
The
an
basic,
expansion.
no, the basic prostration.
He's
is
giving you a
there.
clearer
The basic
example of
prostration
what
is
it
there.
Expansion. If it's not in the
I'll tell you
Quran,
what. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you.
Expansion.
Let me tell you
He's
what, brother.
right. He's right.
if it's not in your
Right.
main book, it's an expansion.
Yeah, but
We're talking
brother,
about
why
Azan.
the expansion is
What Azan are you talking about when you do salam?
Brother,
and these
we're
things?
saying, yeah, the basic prostration.
But I'm trying to say the Prophet Muhammad
Yeah.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a living example.
But-
So he
yeah,
showed
hadith,
us.
yeah.
You know when you're saying it wasn't in the Quran, for us, he came out and he lived the Quran and showed us. So when it came to the prayer, he did it in front of us very clearly for us to see.
But is it
And
in
that
the
was-
Quran?
No, it's
That
not.
was connected
No.
in the hadith.
So then it's going down to
But
someone
brother,
else. So another human saying,
No.
this is what he done.
Yes.
Another guy.
Just like.
Another guy.
But
Someone
brother,
else.
but brother,
Somebody else.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an
That's
example.
another
Let me give you
discussion.
no, let me give you an
That's
example.
about chain of
You see
narration,
the kissing,
hadith.
no. You see the kissing of Mecca. You know why Muslims kiss Mecca? Muslims kiss Mecca because of a hadith written by Omar.
Kiss Mecca.
They
Kiss
kiss
the
Kaaba.
stone.
Yeah, stone. Yeah. The reason why they kiss it, yeah, is because there's a hadith by Omar where he said.
There's another one right behind. Don't waste your breath. He's not talking right behind you.
Understand.
And the mic's right there.
Yeah,
So I don't know
no,
who
but,
can be
no, but there's a hadith here that says that basically Omar said he saw the Prophet kiss the stone. So it's not even like
got problem a lot
the
of
hadith. My man,
I know what you're saying. If there's a hadith and you see the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam do
someone
something,
saying,
you can take it as a
that
practice.
Omar said, someone saying that Omar said that he saw the Prophet kiss the stone. And that's why. So it's very, it's not clear cut.
Then that comes down to an argument of do you accept Quran hadith? That's another argument altogether.
Yeah, we really got with that.
There's like, there's some Muslims
We got with that earlier, we got with
handful
that
who call
earlier.
themselves Quranists.
Yeah, we got
Are you
that earlier.
promise
Quran is-
you are going
I
to
think
follow the
Quran
Quran
makes
sense.
and the
Yeah,
Prophet? You don't need the
Yeah,
scholars.
I might not follow the Quran. From what I know,
But they
right
don't
now,
really follow it, a lot of them. A lot of them just blab it. Oh, I should only follow the
Well, I can't
Quran.
say that because you can say that about Sunnis. You can say that about everyone. That's your subjective opinion because they're not in the same
No,
school of
it
thought
all
as
comes
you.
down to did you believe in the Prophet Muhammad
Okay,
Sallallahu Alaihi
the
Wasallam? Whether
Quran-
he existed and came and walked on this earth
Is that
and lived
what
as an
it all boils
example.
down to?
No, it doesn't, man.
Does it
For
all boil
my
down to
argument,
that?
from my point of
For me,
view.
it boils down to the
No,
meaning.
for that specific
For me, it
situation,
boils
when
down
he's
to
talking
righteousness.
All right.
When you-
For
when you're
instance-
talking
for
about
instance,
prayer,
brother,
when you're
you know
talking
when you're talking about
about
prayer,
we gotta wrap up though, man.
See some of the positions that you do in the prayer, yeah, that are in the hadith and not in the Quran. You use them though, right?
You're talking
Yeah,
about
we use them,
specifics like
yeah.
the angle, yeah.
Okay, you use them
We
though,
use
right?
them, yeah.
Okay, now if it's not in the Quran, but it was put in a hadith by somebody else, that could mean that you're contaminating your prayer.
If the
No, no,
hadith,
no, no.
No, but if the
No, no.
hadith was found to be da'if or weak, yeah,
Some of them are,
through
though.
chain of narration, but I don't follow
But
those hadiths.
who finds them? Who finds them weak?
There's a scholars of
Exactly,
hadith.
bro.
Listen,
You're back to men
but they
again.
go back hundreds of years.
I don't care
Yeah,
how
but brother, all I can do. Yeah, but how are you gonna find out the truth about?
I'm not. What I'm trying to.
You're not gonna find out the truth.
I'm
You're
not.
never gonna find out the truth.
Bruv,
We know the truth.
the point.
How do you know the truth?
Brother,
In life.
You don't follow anything.
How?
The point I'm trying to
The
make
origin
to you
of
is,
your
yeah,
path.
relying on
We
man.
don't rely on anything there.
Joe, I'm relying on man.
But you
to a
believe in
certain
a God.
extent.
You believe in God. You believe in God.
need to be
You
careful.
believe in God. God created you. But you're relying on
Brother,
relying on
I'm
other
relying
men.
on man to a certain extent. We all rely on each
So
other.
so
to a
your
certain
God,
extent.
your God,
since
your
you're talking
God,
the mic, you know,
your
we've got to
God,
think about sister, you
your
know.
God is not intelligent enough.
Do you know your
yeah?
history?
Okay.
Do you know
your
your
God
history?
is not intelligent enough, yeah, to find a way to communicate to
Do you
all
know
of us.
your own
Brother,
history?
I'm talking. I'm talking.
Your own history.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Your God is not. Your God is not intelligent enough to design a way to communicate to all of us directly, yeah, so that we can all receive the message. So he's put it in such a way that in 2017 we need to stand on scholars, people that are not even in the book.
You don't need
No,
it.
no,
You
I'm not,
think
I'm not saying that.
follow
I'm
the
not saying
Quran,
you kind of
follow
are
the
saying that
Prophet.
though,
I'm
brother.
saying that through that Quran, yeah, we established.
Is the
that
Quran enough?
with the hadith.
No.
For
Is the
our basic
Quran
beliefs,
enough?
the Quran is enough for our basic beliefs.
But ain't that all you need?
With some of the ways to
Does the
practice
Quran,
and
does
to
the
show
Quran not have
appreciation
all
to
you
God.
need? No.
It has,
No.
it has.
Does the
No,
Quran? Wait,
it has.
bruv, answer the question.
You're trying
Does
to
the
stick me in the hole. I'm trying to
Does the
have
Quran have?
has.
Bruv, listen.
It
Does
has.
the Quran have all that you need?
For my belief system, yes.
So-
But for me to show appreciation to my God, I still refer back to
It doesn't
narrations
say
of
that in the
Prophet
Quran.
Muhammad
It doesn't say
sallallahu
that in the Quran, though.
I still refer
It
back
don't
to
say that.
It's
But
just to
you're
follow him as an
choosing to.
example.
And the
It's
only
just to follow him as an example. And these guys,
Bruv, listen, you've
I
gone from the
believe they
Quran.
verified that these
You've
were.
gone from the Quran, that is a book from Allah, yeah? Yeah? You've gone from that to hadiths that need to be verified. Wait. To hadiths that need to be verified by other men.
Yeah, but listen,
And
listen,
some
brother.
are weak, some are strong.
Listen,
some
brother.
are rare, some are guided, some are
I don't follow
misguided.
the weak ones or the misguided ones. So
But
listen,
it's
it's down
it's a
to your
misguided.
perception. Yeah, but
I
A misguided man could
Listen,
say.
don't
listen,
believe in certain
A
listen,
things.
misguided man,
guys.
a misguided scholar,
Can I
a
ask you a
misguided.
question? Can I ask you a question? You see the first chain of narration. The most authentic would be the Sahaba,
well, it would come originally. One would come from the Sahaba.
right? So
Because it
are
can't
the
be no one else
Sahabas-
between.
Are they
okay,
scholars?
Are they scholars?
What do you mean by scholarship?
Personally,
That's a problem.
yeah,
now
from what I
what do you
understand,
mean by
That's a
scholarship?
listen, listen, from what I understand, from what I've learned from Islam, and I'm not no one, I'm not even a guy here, I'm just a brother that's come in the conversation.
Jedi, I wish you never asked.
They are greater teachers to me than anyone nowadays, yeah? Whether you want to term it under scholar or he went to university or he didn't want to, they are great teachers to me, yeah? And they're more superior to any teacher who could teach me something now because they were closer to him then. You know what I mean?
See, I'm busy.
So if some-
This is the worst time to ask if I'm busy or not.
If someone wants to say, oh, a teacher is below a scholar, then I'm not going to...
Okay, I'm saying like, look, even to be a scholar, to be a teacher, you must have education. You understand? Now we know in the modern day, as me and the brother was just talking earlier, to be a Muslim scholar, you must go to university or the
Officially,
Muslim.
yeah.
No,
Officially, but
today.
there's
But
a-
before we don't have
officially,
those
but there's a
things.
lot
I'm
of
just
scholars
saying,
out there that learn
that's
from
what's going to
scholars.
officiate and make you a
There's a
scholar.
lot of scholars out there that learn from scholars who you don't see, who are not always on Islam TV, and who learn from teachers,
Yeah,
from
that's
teachers, from teachers.
automatically not authentic. We're dealing with the authentic. The
No, you
ones-
can't just say
No,
the
no,
ones that went to Medina
listen,
University are the
listen.
only scholars.
Who are the ones then?
There's
No,
also
no.
scholars in countries. I
have
can't
to
come and
understand.
No,
show
but
you
there's
all
more
of
than
them.
one school. I'm just saying there's more than one school.
Not
I'm
school
agreeing
of
that.
thought. I'm saying scholars. Maybe even one's
No,
teaching.
listen, this is an education thing, remember. You're using the word scholarship.
But remember, I said to me that. Remember,
And
I said to you
teacher.
guys that
You know
for
what I'm
me,
saying?
a great teacher is good enough. For me,
The
teacher
first-
is not
the-
lower
the
than
first-
scholar. I
listen,
said that.
Listen. What you got to understand, even in Muhammad's times, yeah, they didn't have Islamic scholars. What they had, yeah, were rabbis. And a rabbi is a teacher. You understand?
Yeah, but
you're not
in
a reverend,
Islam- in
you're not
Islam-
a preacher.
in
you know what I'm
Islam,
saying?
this-
He's a teacher. Hold on one second.
In Islam, I want to say
Hold on one
something and then you
second.
move on.
But
In
what I'm
Islam-
saying is,
Okay.
yeah, so we have to understand, yeah, if the Quran's already there now, yeah, you've got that. That's cool. No problem. Do you get what I'm saying? And everything else, which is good for you in a sense, gives you more explanation. I feel that there's nothing wrong in wanting to know or appreciate the life of the Prophet. You get what I'm saying?
It wasn't just that, he was a living example, and we wanted to absorb as much of that walking, talking Quran as we can. That's why the hadith was collected. Now, a lot of people are just going to say fully throw the hadith
did he
out
write
the window.
a hadith?
He did not write the hadith.
Brother, I think it's
No,
not
I'm
important
just
to say
asking,
did
did
he
he
write the
write
hadith.
a hadith?
You know what it is, bro?
single one.
We believe in that chain of narration, and we
You
believe
believe
in the
in it.
way it was formed, and
No,
we believe
no,
in the
no,
character.
no. Let's go back.
We can sit
Let's
here
go
and say
back,
could
let's go
have,
back,
should
let's
have,
go
would have,
back.
maybe,
Wait,
if
wait,
can,
wait, wait.
about
Let's go
all
back.
of everyone standing here.
it's 100%.
No.
That's not going to
100%.
get us anywhere.
No,
Bro,
that's the
listen,
fact of everyone here's beliefs.
Listen.
We can say that.
You
That's
can
the
just
fact
mantle
about
everyone
it.
like that.
That's
Yours,
the
his,
fact.
his.
That's the fact. But the thing is, bro, the only difference is there's only two religions that really make the claim that obviously the Bible and the Quran haven't been changed, yeah. And I'm even accepting the Bible and the Quran right now in
its
your case,
original
yeah?
form,
Yeah. We can accept that, even though some people would say Uthman put it
I don't
together.
think you
and-
accept it. I think you acknowledge it. You don't
Yeah,
accept
acknowledge.
Uthman,
Huh?
Accepting it is something different.
Well, you can acknowledge, accept
Okay,
whatever you want to say.
accept that.
It's like
But,
I acknowledge he's
yeah,
there.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, yeah, for you to actually do that with the hadiths now, that's when it.
No, but if we believe, no, so I tell you what, if we believe in that chain of narration and the way it was formed and the
So
way
you
they
believe the people that put it
categorized,
together was infallible.
Okay, hold on.
basically.
Well, let's go back then. Chain of narration.
I'm
Where
not an
does it
expert.
start?
I'm not an expert.
Don't say where does
Obviously,
it start.
obviously it
this-
starts
this,
with the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, comes through his Sahaba.
How does it come
and the
here?
Tabi'un.
Well, it
It's
comes
been
through
recorded.
the Sahabas.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And I'm saying, are the Sahabas scholars?
What do you
said
mean
to
by
you straight away
scholarship?
that I'm not
No, what
bothered.
does he mean by scholarship?
I said to you straight away, I'm not bothered about.
Strictly
Yo, man, do the
listen,
Harlem
listen.
Shake. Man, do the Harlem Shake out here.
Listen, I said to you straight away, I'm not bothered about the term scholar or great teacher.
But answer the question.
It doesn't make a big difference to me.
It does,
but answer the
because
question,
we've been arguing for
You
like
follow scholars.
2 hours about scholars.
Okay, let me tell you, are they scholars full stop or are they scholars of Islam?
has to have
Because if you're saying
information.
Okay.
if they're scholars of
Are
Islam,
they?
yes, because for me,
Are the
shall I tell
Sahaba
you why?
scholars of Islam?
Yes, I'll tell you why, yes, because for
How?
me, let me tell you why, just quickly.
pass
For
the
me,
influence.
listen, my brother, for me, them living and breathing amongst the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi
Yeah, they
Wasallam
know him
overweighs 30 years in Medina University.
You see,
That's
this
my
is where the problem
understanding of
comes.
it.
No,
But if
listen.
you want to go and say no, educational from educational point of view,
on, bro.
they're living and breathing with him
A
doesn't
man-
outweigh
listen, look,
going to
we're
university.
man, yeah, we're human beings, we're man from London, you know what I'm saying? Yeah? My virgin comes, yeah, and says, Jedi, yeah, went to the Kaaba and kissed the black stone. What
You're
the hell?
obsessed with the black stone.
No, what the hell has that got to do with the Quran?
There's nothing
No,
to
but
do
that
with
was
the
just
Quran.
a ritual with Hajj, yeah? With Hajj ritual.
Ritual.
It's a Hajj ritual, it's a form of worship. It doesn't mean it's voodoo or
Okay, it's a
worship.
form of worship. Hold on 1 second. Hold on
The
1 second.
Hajj pilgrimage.
Hold on 1 second.
The Hajj
It's a form of
pilgrimage.
worship that was not in the Quran. Is that
No,
what
I
you're
said
saying?
it's a part of a form of worship, which is Hajj. Which is Hajj.
It's not that kissing of the black stone is not found
It
in the
doesn't
Quran.
mean you're
It's found in
worshipping the
hadith.
stone. When you're throwing the
It's
stone,
up to you
when you're
to-
throwing the stone, no, because you're trying to trip me up with certain
No,
things.
no, I'm
I'm trying
giving
to
the
say,
analogy of man's
no, I
brethren.
just said to
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
it's
I'm with my brethren.
No, I'm saying
Yeah?
you go on a pilgrimage.
All right.
There's certain rituals you perform to complete that pilgrimage.
What, in
If you
the
can do-
Bible? I mean, in the Quran.
No, but I've already gone.
In
no, but
Islam.
brother, you can't go back to that
I'm
point.
asking
Is the
in
Prophet
Islam.
In
rolling
Islam,
with
yeah.
scholars though?
I've
In
already
rituals.
listen, brother. I've already
it's
said
mandem,
that
innit?
I believe.
It came from.
The Prophet is rolling with bad man.
You see,
You know what I'm saying? Them Sahabas never played.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
They weren't carrying no books or no
You're saying
thing.
that
They
it's
were
a part of
serious
the
guys.
pilgrimage.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
saying it's a ritual that's associated with pilgrimage. I agree, it is definitely a ritual. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, whose ritual is it?
Before Muhammad.
And who's the first one?
No.
it was-
Muslim
listen,
believe the
as
Prophet
far as I
Muhammad
know,
did
was from
it.
Prophet Muhammad
Is he,
Sallallahu Alaihi
he's the
Wasallam.
first person to kiss the stone.
You know, I can't answer that question. I'm not going to stand here and say I can't answer it. I can't answer that question.
Did Prophet Muhammad explain why he kissed the stone?
I haven't got the complete backing behind it.
Did he say that? Yeah, he does.
I haven't got the
Yeah,
answer
no,
to
you're
every
jumping
question.
to
Like me,
conclusions.
I'm not a
Did
daddy, bro.
Prophet Muhammad
I'm not
say
going to
that?
stand here and say yes or no.
No, but I just gave that analogy to make you understand.
Did Prophet
Yeah,
Muhammad
that's
say
a
that?
hadith.
So
Yeah.
then that's your
Yeah, but
argument.
what I'm
If you
saying,
stuck
brother,
to the,
what-
hold on 1 second, but if you stuck to the Quran, then you won't have that problem.
No, but what I'm saying, brother,
By the way,
we're never going to get anywhere in this
by the
conversation
way, I
because
don't have any
you
hadith.
guys are always going to tell
Where he
me
kissed-
reject
You
the
can't make
hadith,
assumptions
reject the
about
hadith, and I'm always going to say,
Because
okay,
the chain of
No,
duration is
what
flawed
I
from
seen
the outset.
But
where
you know,
he
brother, I
was
don't think it's
on
fair
the
for you
camel,
just to
he
say
had
the
a
chain of
walking
of narration is flawed.
He
Why?
touched the
Because there's
stone,
no scholars
the
at the
stone
beginning of
by
the chain
his
of
walking
narration.
stick.
It's not fair, brother, to
He-
say that.
he went
I'm
like
saying
that,
to
touch
you
it.
that someone who lived amongst the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
Yeah.
wasallam has got as much worth
I
of his
give you
understanding
something
as
like
someone
that.
who went to Medina University and studied it. Someone who lived amongst them.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
No, man.
Brother, it's come to what?
Let me say why this ain't true.
You remember
Because
Oxford University?
Because I
It's
could
come
be
to
a friend.
yeah.
I could be a friend of Prophet Muhammad. I could be a companion, and
No, companion in Islam is different to what you are talking
and
about.
I
Companion could be
left,
just
Islam.
living amongst them.
I left the beliefs of Islam. That would discredit me, right?
What by
Would it discredit my accounts?
If you left
Yeah, if I
Islam,
left Islam.
technically, yeah.
Yeah, so therefore, if I knew Prophet Muhammad, I mean it was brethren, and then I stopped believing in what he was teaching.
Yeah, but that's if you're talking about chain of narration, you could say that. But we're just talking about the term of if someone is
But you,
it will
your
understand.
scholars discredit anybody that
No,
has
but
left
even
Islam.
then, if it's
Your
this,
scholars
no, but listen,
discredit everybody
even then,
that's
if there's a
left
saying attributed to a Sahaba, we still won't blindly just take it.
Can I
We
just
still
say-
got the
can
chain
I
of
say- Can I
narration.
just say, discrediting somebody that has left the belief system
Listen,
is
I'm going
evil.
back to
Listen,
Brother, I know where you're going. But
you don't, so let me finish. So I can tell you, discrediting somebody that has left the belief system is the same as saying, do you know what? Now that you're not down with me, anything you say ain't worthy to listen to. Once you do something like that,
No, we are
that
not
is
like
what you
that.
do.
No, we are not.
That is what you do.
No,
We
but
are not.
listen,
It is what the
I
scholars
tell you
do,
something.
not what you do.
There is
It's what the
some,
scholars
there is
do.
some Jews.
Someone has left
some,
Islam,
no,
they are
me and him
discredited.
are
no, we are
confusing
not.
the two now,
We are
because
not. There is
now-
some pagans in Mecca. They
Now
are
you're
report
saying,
about the
yeah,
prophet
if-
still
If
standing.
someone said something bad
They
about
are
Prophet
not.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, maybe it was hidden because
He said, is that what he said?
No, listen, brother.
So then,
No, there is
if
some-
you leave Islam, and you have bad things to say about Islam,
Fire.
you are discredited.
in the booth.
By what? What do you mean by this?
You've just come over and said that to me.
No, there is some people. There's some people who never been Muslim. They say
I
something
just
good about
asked
the
one
prophet.
question and we gone wide, we gone all
all I'm
over
trying to say, I'll
Australia
come back
and
to that
everything.
question.
Yeah.
Even if there's a Sahabi and there's a saying attributed to him, we won't just take that saying. We'll still study the narration.
I'm saying which
You know what
one
I mean?
of the Sahabas,
So we're not blindly following the Sahaba
trust
either.
which one of them
We're not
is
just
a
taking
scholar?
it as
My
a
brothers, I'm not gonna lie to
You have to trust the narration or
Which
not.
one is a scholar,
I
please?
can hear it.
When you talk about scholarship today, you have a lot
I
of
read the Quran because it's my form
information
of
where you
communication
study
from
about
Allah.
it, you write books.
It's not fair to just say to someone, oh, do you do it for this specific reason or that specific reason? You can't just
I
slap
got
reasons on
asked, by
someone.
the way, I got
I know
asked,
what you're saying.
I'm still asking the same question. Do you get what I'm saying? If you say the Sahabas are the root of the chain of narration,
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, we go
And
back.
they are not scholars, then what the hell are we doing
No,
with
no,
the hadiths?
but brother,
What
no,
the
but
hell?
brother, I
What do you
said
mean
that-
by
no,
scholar?
but brother,
Because
you can't just tell
You
me.
know what we mean by
No,
scholar.
but brother,
no,
brother,
Like I said,
listen,
you
listen,
get me?
I never
You
started
have
to-
to be,
listen.
No, but I'm saying you have to be studied in the subject.
You study.
Now,
Listen,
no,
brother,
no, no,
I'm
no,
trying
no,
to say
no,
that
no.
those
The
Sahabas'
Prophet-
worth is as much as a scholar.
Listen,
but
listen,
you won't
listen,
accept
listen,
that.
listen,
You
listen.
can't just say they're not
Listen.
scholars and that's it.
The Prophet is going to take 23 years to learn this thing, yeah?
You explain to them.
I can't tell you how.
During that
Hold on,
20
wait.
he
The whole
understands
thing.
things.
Yeah,
The whole thing from start to finish, yeah,
Yeah.
is going to take him 23 years. You understand?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
But
we're gonna
certain
say.
aspects
And
he'll
then
understand
after
straight
23
away.
years, hold on, wait. Then after 23 years or while he's doing it, he's teaching his friends.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Is it while he's doing it, he's
Is it-
teaching his
Listen,
friends?
while he's
Exactly.
doing it, while he's getting revelation. But we believe, brother,
He's
we got to
teaching them.
understand. We believe.
So hold on, wait. Hold on 1 second.
He was teaching
Yeah.
them.
Listen, let me
So
tell you something.
they're saying, yeah, the Sahabas, this is how they learned to be scholars. Yeah?
No, I
While
never
the
said that.
Prophet
He
took
put them words in
23
my
years
mouth. I
to
didn't
learn
say
it.
that, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Learn this
No, I didn't say that either. I never
recitation.
said that
Hold
either.
on, Ray.
He's
Learn
saying
this
yeah.
recitation because Ikra, you know.
No.
nigga can't read.
He didn't
All
learn
right.
to Ikra
Anyway,
for 23 years.
yeah, exactly.
He got different parts of the message, but say he got a part of the message in the beginning.
Okay.
He understood that fully and taught it then. It didn't take him 23 years to learn that part of the message there.
But is
And
it going to take him 23
So
years?
Muhammad was
I don't
a
want to-
genius.
I don't want to-
Inshallah, I
It's
believe
take
so.
him
alhamdulillah.
23
23
years
years
to
to
read
learn
the
the
right.
whole
No,
message.
You know,
take him
actually, not all
23 years
wisdom
to
and not
receive
all
the whole
beautiful things
Quran.
in
The
life
whole
are
message.
read and
That's what
write.
I'm saying.
But I know, but
So I'm
You know, our
saying.
family, they loved us in certain ways. but shouldn't
but-
rely.
And the literate
Hold on, wait.
genius.
So,
It's true, I agree
But
with
you know what? I know
agree
a lot of
with you.
people they can read, but they're ruining the earth. You know, so reading is not always a good
listen,
thing.
bro. So after 23 years, yeah, he has the whole message.
Yes.
We agree that, yeah?
Yes.
After 23 years, he has the
Of the
whole
message of the Quran, but what I gotta say to you,
Then, after 23 years, you could say what? His friends, his
Understood it.
Sahabas,
Yeah. They landed.
understood all of it because
Exactly.
they had their own oral tradition, yes?
Yes.
but no one understood it like him. Obviously,
Okay.
yeah.
But they had oral tradition, not written tradition.
No. They have a
No,
written
it was
shahid.
collected, yeah.
They had oral tradition,
no, we
remember?
believe-
Brother, now you're talking about how it's collected. We was talking about whether
We know how
the
it's
Sahaba
collected.
were worthy of understanding it as much as a
Right,
scholar.
so,
And I'm saying
now
to
my point
you,
is-
but you never got to my point. I'm saying to you that these brothers lived and breathed amongst him. They quizzed him. They asked him
What's wrong
questions.
if the
They saw
Sahabi
things like
was
how he spoke to people, how his
They
facial
weren't.
expressions
Half
were
of them-
towards people.
most of them
wasn't
were
in the
warlords.
Quran.
They were warlords. You understand what a warlord
We've
is?
got to conclude. We've got to conclusion.
Everyone's a warlord when you piss them off, man.
The video's going to be so
I like
long.
this one.
You
I
can't.
like
No,
this one.
respect,
Yeah,
bro.
nice, man.
Yeah.
Big
No,
up, man.
no. What's your conclusion? Give a
On the
conclusion.
battlefield, you know it's ruthless, but it's
Yeah,
love.
yeah,
We always speak up for the oppressed. That's why we went to the Myanmar embassy. We just protest for them just now.
Yeah.
Well, my conclusion is, for the scholarly thing, I wasn't here at the beginning of the conversation, but for Muslims, whether you term them scholars or big or great teachers, or someone we take knowledge for and trust the knowledge came from them, we believe that the weight of their receiving the knowledge, because they lived and breathed amongst him, they saw his facial expressions, his attitude, they felt the atmosphere around him, they saw his living example, that their weight is as much as or even greater than a scholar. But if you're going to come now to 2017 and say he needs a degree, he needs an M21, an MBA, he needs this, he needs to go to that specific university, he needs to study under that imam, then no, they're not scholars if you want to put all them 2017 conditions on top of it. But it's part of my belief, that they've got as much weight or if not more than scholars. And when you said to about, do we take every Sahaba's word for blind, I would say no, because we still have that chain of narration going back to them. So it's not actually that Sahabi individually I'm taking it off on himself. It's the whole chain of narration, and sorry, bro. And there's a whole study into studying the character and 6 categories of that person. And I'm not a scholar, but there's certain things like, was he a liar? Things like that, and 6 categories. So it's not as simple as me just coming and saying, was he a scholar or not a scholar?
Now this guy was just asking me about content over everything. I'm letting him know it's impartial. It's an impartial channel.
It's impartial, yes.
So you see, you got Muslims, you got Kemetic philosophy followers, and you have Rastafarians. You understand? And you have guys like me. So
My wife keeps calling me.
AOD.
Brother.
I like to the fight. I like to the fight.
Very much. Brother, I better go home. I gotta
my
go home,
conclusion
man.
is respect to the
listen
brother
to his
that got to stand up and just give his own opinion. Obviously, that's his opinion. He's not speaking for all Muslims. He's speaking on his understanding. And that's it, really. That's what we do
here.
I'm still a baby. You know?
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't phone in with a video about 7 minutes long, like apologizing.
Oh, no. You know, I don't really feel much, man.
So I might put a Street Fighter background to this one.
You know, I'm not a daddy.
It's not hard to understand that if the chain of narration starts with the Sahabas
why I
and the
hold my tongue
Sahabas
sometimes. I don't
are
wanna-
not really scholars,
make a mistake.
do you get what I'm saying? Then I would advise to steer away from hadith and concentrate on the Quran, because your instructions in the Quran is, if you're confused, do you get what I'm saying? Go to the older scriptures and the older texts.
When in doubt, leave it out.
Yeah.
That's right.
What I leave on is that there's no problem taking advice from anywhere. You understand? You can learn from the fool from what not to do. You can learn from the wise man what to do. But when all is said and done, make sure whatever you're taking in to be truth also applies with your logic, knowledge, fact, and your intuition as well. You understand? Because everything should be based upon your understanding and not someone else's understanding, just for the simple fact that even if they're a scholar, they could be wrong, and then you live your whole life going by another man's wrong understanding. So yeah. Nice. All right then, we're done.
Cypher, who's going down? Who's going in?
I'm taking a break from my back is killing me right now, fam. True story.
See you guys later.